Hey folks, how's it going today? I'm Thump, the Merrimack Valley fisherman. I'm rigging up some ice traps, getting ready to go onto the ice tomorrow. I just wanted to show you all how it's done. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the backing of the reel here, which is the strongest part of the line, as you can see, and I'm going to put a button on it. And what the button does is you can slide it up and down, and you can maintain the depth that you're fishing at, so you don't have to keep gauging the depth on your ice trap. So basically I'm going to weed it through. Sometimes you gotta lick it before you stick it. Weed it through two of the holes. One won't keep it on properly here. I guess my eyes are getting older as well as my body here. Alright, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tie on a barrel swivel. This is what a barrel swivel looks like. It kind of looks like a figure 8, okay? And the knot I'm going to tie on here is a Palomar knot. I'll go through some knots another time, but this is definitely one of the knots I use the most to fasten on jigs in fresh water or hooks. Anything where the end, see how there's an end here, and it can be brought through the loop, so as not to get into too much detail. Knots are a whole different segment, my friends, you know. Alright, so let's rig this through without messing things up here. Usually I can do this pretty fast. Okay, we're going to rig this up, pull that through. Welcome to Knot Talk. People sometimes wish I would not talk. Oh, alright. Let's see what we're doing here. Pull that tight, and you get a nice tight knot right there. As you can see, this backing's not going to break anyways. This is at least, I don't know, it's got to be 60-pound test at least. So I'm going to cut that with the scissors. You always just want to leave a little bit, you know what I mean? Make sure the knot's nice and tight here. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is put on what they call a leader. And the line I'm using today is a 17-pound test trilene pure fluorocarbon, okay? Has very little or no stretch, which is nice, and as you can see, it's clear, so it won't spook the fish, alright? I'm going to cut probably close to 3 feet of the line here. I mean, you can use any pound test you like. I prefer 17 in case you hit into any of those early morning big girls. So I'm going to cut about 3 feet. That'll give me some room in case I louse up one of the knots, you know? So I got the barrel swivel right here, okay? I'm going to take the fluorocarbon. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tie a fisherman's knot here, just because there's not like an end that I can pop through which has something on it. Fisherman's knot's a lot easier than the Palomar, I think. The strength varies. It depends on what you're using it for. I'm going to go in once, around under, then in again. Okay, you're going to take your end. You're going to wrap it around the main line 4 times. 2, 3, 4. Then you're going to take your end through the loop you just made, then through the loop you made doing that. It's fairly easy. And you want to pull it tight. You want to pull it tight from both ends, from the line and the end of the line there. Make sure you have a nice tight knot there, and you do have some leftover line here, so I'm just going to snip that like I did before with the backing. Alright, we're good. Doink, doink. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to tie on a regular swivel. As you can see, it's a snap swivel. The top is a barrel swivel, and it spins, and then there's a snap on it, so you can, you know, change hooks or whatever you want to use on it, okay? I don't really use this in open water too much. I used to when I was a kid, before I was able to tie the knots. So I'm going to do the Palomar knot here again. You know, and this is the time where I'm kind of going to set my leader. You want anywhere from, you know, 20 to 28 inches for your leader. You know, it's basically just so the fish don't get spooked. You know what I mean? That they don't see the backing when your shiner's down there swimming in the hole under the ice. So it just kind of looks like the shiner's free swimming. So it's nice to use a clear fluorocarbon or monofilament line. And I'm gonna got my Palomar knot. I'm gonna tie it tight here. Now this is just how I set up my traps. There's a million different ways that people can set them up, different kinds of hooks, different size line and whatnot. I'm just showing you guys just how I do it. And you know, I used to do it a little differently. I used to use different hooks and stuff, but this is gonna work, and it seems to make sense here because what I'm doing now is I'm gonna tie on a 1/0 snelled hook, which is just this. It's like the ones you used to use as a kid fishing for worms, okay? And the reason I'm doing this with the snap swivel as opposed to tying it straight to the line is because when I go fishing and there's a lot of pickerel or toothy critters, they tend to bite and fray the leader here, okay? So if there's an extra 4 or 5 inches, I can just snap this off and change this when I catch a pickerel or a pike or something with teeth that scrapes it up, as opposed to always having to retie and remeasure a leader. Okay, hopefully that makes sense to you. And yeah, these new snap swivels, let's see, of the year 2000. I'm going to pop that off. Boink, got your snap swivel. See how there's your snap on it? I'm going to pop that right on. Oops, well I was going to pop it on. There we go. Hooks work. Pop that right on there. And there we go. Now the last thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to pop on a split shot. I like to use a 1/16. You can use up to a 1/8, a 1/4. What a split shot is, it's just a little weight right here, as you can see, and you can squeeze it right around your line. So I'm going to put it about maybe, you know, 10 inches up the line or so. And what this does is it'll give the shiner a little extra weight and get it to the depth in the water that you want it. Okay, you can go with or without it. I like to use them. I can just pop them off if I want. You bite it so it's nice and tight. It's just going to stay on the line. And the last thing I'm going to do here is just secure my ice trap, okay? Right around the reel here, or the spool, whatever you want to call it. Alright. I'm going to take my hook, you know, when you're reaching into wherever you keep your traps, as with anything, any fishing related with hooks, you don't want to get stuck. So I'm going to take the hook here, and I'm going to secure it right on the side of my trap there. Boing. And I'm going to tighten this up. And that's how you rig an ice fishing trap. Tight lines, keep them cubed, folks.